Good morning and welcome to episode 15 of Debra Quilts, Lots and Knits Bits. I'm Debra McCracken and I quilt a lot and I knit a little bit. So today is Monday, April 13th. I am enjoying the sunshine today in beautiful Penticton, British Columbia. We don't have any snow like my family does in Calgary, so I'm very thankful for that. Although I'm kind of sad I won't be going to visit anytime soon, but that's okay. How's everybody doing? You know, I missed my friend Lois this morning. She walks her dog in the park across the street, and usually when I see her pull up, I run and get dressed. Sometimes, and then I wave at her crazy through the window. And today I was watching for her, and then it's like 9:15 and I'm not dressed. Lois hasn't come, so I sent her a text. I missed you this morning. Is everything okay? She said, of course everything's okay. I've been and gone. So I said, okay, well, I'll get dressed now. And then I thought, well, all right, then I'll get dressed, put some makeup on, do some filming, because I've gotten a few things done lately. Not to brag, but you know, I've only been out of the house 4 times in 32 days. So that's once every 8 days. That's not bad. I drove my husband to an appointment and sat in the truck and waited for him while he was finished. And actually I dropped something off at Mary's house and she stood on the stairs and I stood in the driveway, and we had a really nice visit. And then last Thursday I had to go to the quilt store to get some fabric to make gowns for a doctor's office. And on Saturday I finished a quilt last week for a lady that had bought a kit at Poppins and asked me to make the quilt for her, and I told her initially it wouldn't be till May, so she was just tickled when I phoned on Thursday and said, oh, your quilt's done and I could drop it off. So I went and handed her the bag through the door, and she handed stuff back, and I still need to call her and see if she liked it, because we certainly didn't get to open it up and have a big show while we were there. So yeah, she said, oh yeah, I live over by the library. And I thought, oh well, we can walk there. Well, you know, I haven't walked anywhere for quite a while. And it was 2.2 kilometers to her house and 2.2 kilometers back, except we took the long way home because it was a blowy day, but it was a nice day, sunny day. And so I was a little bit hurting yesterday, feeling my age. But that's okay, because I'm gonna be a grandma. I don't know who I've told and who I haven't told. I wasn't allowed to tell anybody for the longest time, and now I can say we are expecting a little granddaughter in August. We had a little gender reveal on Thursday last week. My son-in-law whacked a golf ball and it exploded and it was all pink. So that's very exciting for us. And now I can order some pink yarn and start knitting some booties. So yay, very excited. So what have I been up to? All right, well, I had a day not long after I filmed where I just needed to sit down and do handwork. So I wove in the ends of Mom's sweater, which I walked to the mailbox yesterday. That was my 4th outing. And I did some work on the binding on this. I'm hand sewing it down. And I started getting the shawl collar on my, isn't that nice? It's so squishy. I just want to work on it all the time, but I got other things to do. So I did have this on a really long cable, and then it seemed like I could take that extra piece of cable off, so I did, but I can't try it on for you. But it does have sleeves, and it does have pocket flaps. I'll tell you what, that took me a little while to figure that one out. But it doesn't have any pockets left yet, because I was excited to get this started, and it's nice. And I do, every time I sit down, I do 4 or 5 rows, and I'm alternating skeins because it's hand-dyed yarn. So you see there's like beautiful colors in it. So every 2 rows I'm changing skeins. How technical is that? And it's again the Color Adventures, and it's in the birch colorway. So it's Anna Dioman as Designs. I'll put a link in the description because I'm sure I butchered that pronunciation. And it's probably a very elegant name. Anyway, so here's a picture of what it could look like when it's done. It is a free pattern on the Biscot Yarns website, so I'll put a link to that too. Somebody on the Ravelry Facebook group posted one the other day, and she did it in all different colors. It was just gorgeous, and it looked very comfortable. So anyway, and I just thought maybe I should show you. It's in one of my project bags. It's my butterfly project bag. And these are the first batch of project bags that I made up. So it's got my sweater in there and a whole bunch of other yarn that I keep wanting to cast on something else, but I'm not going to till I finish this. So these project bags, I made up 4 big ones, and I had enough fabric left for 1 little one. And they were my thank you for helping me with my knitting bags, because we were working on our butterfly shawl. So I was able to send one to Kathy, and one to Charlotte, and one to Margot, because we all knit our shawls at the same time, and we're able to, oh yeah, I did that, I did this, I worked it this way, and oh, that means that, and it was awesome. And then when I was up at Fiberfilia Fest last year, I had the little one left, and Jerry really liked it, so she got it. She took it home, and it was like just a little bit bigger than the sock size. So this is the sock size, different quilted bag. So it's got some quilting, and of course the Debra Quilt Slots label on there. And I thought, oh, today maybe I'll talk a little bit about project bags. I've got a couple other ones out here. This is the bunny butt bag, because these little bunnies have little flowers on their butts. So this is the sweater size. So it's the same size as this one. And it's not quilted. It's got a canvas lining, so it actually does stand up. You can fold over the top. And if it's got stuff in it, this isn't a very good example because it's big, but if it's got stuff in it, it'll stand up like a little bucket. And then inside there's pockets, and this one has little nitty yarny pockets. And here's a sock size with cowboys. So this is a better example of a stander upper because it's a little bit smaller. Anyway, so it opens up. You can roll the top down and it stands up like that. And this one's got little sheepy pockets. Sheep are knitting. So that's kind of fun. I do have a whole bunch of those on my web page, and I can certainly make any custom orders that you like. So just, if that enthuses you in any way, shape, or form, they're great for knitting, crocheting. I have taken them to quilt retreats with my quilting projects in them. They're good for makeup, they're good to keep your markers in, or anything that you want to keep on them, because they're pretty versatile. And when I'm at a quilt show, I have been seen to have my bag over my wrist and then be knitting out of it. So there you go. All right. So I think we're far enough in the podcast that my daughter won't be watching anymore. She'll say, "Oh yeah, well, I watched." So I can show you this because it's kind of a surprise for her. This is another thing I finished on my day of sitting down. So, sock monkey. He's got a tail. He still needs some eyes and a mouth. We had a new to you sale at Quilt Guild in February, or March, in March. And Patty had the sock monkey kit on the table. Like, oh my gosh, I can make a sock monkey. So I got the sock monkey kit. Turns out there were 2 pairs of socks in there, one for the monkey, and then there's an elephant as well. So I could make an elephant out of the other pair, which I still might do. But like, let's just say that was March the 11th or 12th, and now it's like April 13th, and it's done, sort of. I need eyes. So, you know, that's pretty spectacular. I had another sock monkey kit, which I took to my daughter's house because she's going to do it. Somebody gave me that, and I think I had it in my closet for 3 or 4 years, and I still hadn't gotten it done. So I guess now, a little bit of incentive, there's going to be a ton of things finished in the next little while, so woohoo! Yeah, so that was that day that I just sat down and started doing handwork. And another day, I made this little guy. I hope you get to see the whole thing. This is a panel that they have at Poppins, and it's flannel. And then I got the little owls that go with it. I put them on the back, and I put some on the edges just to widen it up a little bit. And then my binding is just black grunge. And I put it in the wash, and so it's nice and cozy. It's got some bamboo batting inside of it. It's nice and cozy. And that's for George's birthday. George is going to be 2 in 10 days from now. So April 23rd, he's going to be 2. But Grandpa's a little bit skeptical about sending anything in the mail right now because, you know, everybody's touching things, and he doesn't want to get anybody sick. So we're going to hold on to this until the madness is over, or he decides that we can send it safely, and that'll be for George's birthday. So I don't know if you noticed this quilt behind me. This is the Trail Mix quilt that I've been working on for quite a while. It's all quilted. The binding is on. Most of it's glued down. I think I've got like 1 good corner and 3/4 of the side hand sewn as far as the binding goes. But it has 4 or 5 different blocks in it. So one is a simple 4-patch, and the other one is a 4-patch with 4 patches in the corner. And then there's these little 4 patches that make other 4 patches that go in a corner. And then these other little 4 patches go in the corners of this 9-patch. And then you have them arranged so that they all make this little line, which is pretty cool. And I've seen these quilts at, the Nelson ladies always did these quilts at quilt shows for years and years and years. And it's called Trail Mix, and it's by Maxine Oxenrider. And it is actually a free pattern on the All People Quilt website. So I will again link that in the notes below because it's quite fun. And well, this was all batik scraps that I had. And little bits over the years. Nolene used to save the roll-ups. If you were a member of the Flamingo Club, you got a little roll-up every month from Nolene of from samples where when the fabric companies come out with a new line of fabric, they cut pieces, good sized pieces so that you can see what the fabric's going to look like, and they staple them together on a card. And so 3 things, or probably 5 or 6 things that are coordinated are all on the same card. And so when those were when that fabric wasn't the current stuff anymore, Nolene would roll them up for us, take all those cards off, which is quite a job, roll them up for us, and I was able to hand them out at Flamingo Club. And so a few times, not every time, and not every set of batiks, Nolene would give me an extra couple batik ones for myself. And so I used them for this quilt, and then there was another quilt that I made that was just a 7-inch Snowball block. So it was a 7-inch square, and then it had some 3-inch squares put on the corners. I got that finished just before we moved last year, and I left it at the house for the new homeowners to welcome them to their new home. So it's lots of little pieces, and they've really done a lot of good, so it's pretty awesome. So I quilted this with Glide Sand, which is one of my favorites, and I'm going to bring you a little bit closer so that you can see it. I'm sorry if there's a bit of wonkiness. So all different kinds of shapes in the quilting. And then I tried to emphasize the, there we go, the trail by doing little circles around it, just to try to make it pop or stand out a little bit more. And I'll show you the back. So there's where I stopped sewing my binding by hand. And so I got this red on the back, and I've had that red in my stash for many years. It's a 108-inch wide back. It was from Three Sisters, and I think it was from the Chocolat line. So that's probably 2008, 2009. Anyway, I am happy to say I do not have any left on the bolt. I put it on the back of my Gypsy Wife, I put it on the back of this, and I have enough left to piece together for the back of the quilt that we made at Retreat for the Community Quilts program at the Guild. So I think that's all I have left to say. Anyway, I hope everybody is staying safe and being smart about it, and we're comfortable at home. We've got, many of us have lots of toilet paper. We've got all the food that we can eat. We got far too much food to eat. Last night for our Easter dinner, we made a big ham, and we smothered it in a mixture of brown sugar and allspice, because I didn't have any cloves left, and Dijon mustard, and I mixed all that up, and then I slopped it all on and then baked it. Oh my god, it smelled so good, and it tasted so good. So I'm looking forward to ham sandwiches for supper tonight, and I have a little bone left, so I will try my hand at split pea soup in the near future. I'll let you know how that turns out. Anyway, happy quilting, happy knitting, happy making, happy sewing, and just take care of yourself and as many other people as you can. And maybe next time I film, maybe we can be outside. Take you up on the deck and show you my little view from my little nest here. So anyway, take care, and we'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching.